You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so why try to build a business without one? Grow your contracting business and grow your mind with Growth Mindset Monday.
Welcome back to Mindset Monday. I'm your host, Garrett Bake, founder of Build Pro, our online community that helps contractors just like you grow. We are here in partnership with my good friend, Justin Smith, and all the boys and girls over at Contractor Plus. You guys know the drill. If you're here live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old Monday shout out. Well, as we're waiting for those businesses to roll in, I want to share a funny story. So this weekend, we went fishing. There was a few guys in our community that got together to go fishing. Now, where I live in Salt Lake City, there's a few places to fish, reservoirs mainly, a couple rivers, but we wanted to go up to the mountains, right? So we went, we got Justin here from Cheyenne. We went up to Evanston, past Evanston, into the mountains in Wyoming, to a little small town called Mountain View. And I met one of our clients up there, Justin. He's a builder. And from there, we all jumped in his truck, drove 2 more hours to the backside of this mountain range called the Uintas. So we actually came back into Utah, just only accessible through the other side. And so we went up to the mountains, beautiful place. We're up at 8,000, 9,000 feet. We started at this lake called Mirror Lake. Now, the coolest thing about Spirit Lake, So Spirit Lake, the coolest thing about Spirit Lake was there was only 4 people there. Right. So there was nobody there. We had this place to ourselves. And I'm like, sweet, this is going to be awesome. I get to do some fishing, which I'm still new to fishing, by the way. But I get to do some fishing, right? It's going to be great. So Ryan, who's one of the guys that was with us, Ryan's sitting there casting and he's fly fishing, right? Boom. Within 5 minutes, he's got a tiger trout. I'm like, what in the hell? So I'm like, what are you using? And Ryan's telling me, so I'm trying to tie on this new lure and, see what I can do with this. And it's not happening. So then I move a little bit down the shore and it's not happening. So then I change the lure again and it's not happening. Right. And I'm getting super impatient about this. I'm like, I can see the fish, right? Legit, the fish is swimming back and forth. These trout are swimming back and forth. There's cutthroat and there's tiger trout and I'm watching them. Right. So I'm like, I'm going to shortcut this thing. I'm just going to put it, just drop it right in front of them and shake a little bit, move a little bit. And maybe just by that little simplification of the fishing process, maybe it'll work. Nope. The fish just kept swimming back and forth, ignoring me completely, 100% ignoring me. Right now, we were up there about 4 hours. We actually hit 3 or 4 different lakes, did some, off-road hiking. Is that a thing? We saw it on a map and we're like, we think we need to go this way. So through the bushes and down trees and over rocks. But I didn't catch anything. Now, you guys know you don't always catch something when you fish, right? But I didn't catch anything. But as I was driving back, we were kind of laughing about some different things. And one of the things was about fishing, right? And it's this understanding that the best fishermen understand that it's all about the preparation and the patience, right? And not about the speed and the location, right? The preparation and the patience, not the speed and the location. I'm going to get back to that here in a second. So we got a few folks that we're going to give the old shout out to. We got Justin Munsell, All Works Handyman Services out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Welcome to the show. Michael Babbitt, BMF Services Fencing out of Charlevoix, Michigan. Welcome, Motivated Laborers. Good day, Monday, tuning in from Ithaca, New York. welcome to the show. Daniel Kappen, good old Reliable. I'm going to call him Daniel Reliable Kappen. Noble Custom Glass and Mirror checking in, probably from the mobile office. We got Raquel Teixeira. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Double R Design and Build, Fort Myers, Florida. We got TR&R, Chad with Tate Restoration and Reconstruction out of KC. Welcome to the show. Tyler Gray, Gray's Handyman. Welcome, my friend. Rodney Butts, R&R Lawn Services. Welcome to the show. We got Ryan Shemp, Divine Decking out of Bakersfield, California. Welcome. And Alex Christensen with Rustic Mountain Build Design, Collinston, Utah. Okay, bro, I'm in Utah. I don't know where Collinston is. You have to fill me in. So we got a few of you here. And again, if you're here, feel free to drop your name, your business name, where you're from. We'll give you a little shout out. Now, why would I bring up fishing? Some of you guys who are actually good at fishing are laughing right now because you realize that I'm not good at fishing. And truth be told, I'm not good at fishing, right? And I'm still a rookie at it. Some of you who don't fish are just laughing because it's kind of funny to see this guy who doesn't know how to fish not catch fish, right? I'll tell you that we drove 2 hours to get to where Justin was at, carpooled another 2 hours. So Saturday was 8 hours of driving and 4 hours of fishing. Not necessarily the odds that I like, but hey, it is what it is. But why would I bring up fishing for you guys? Well, because oddly enough, fishing has a lot to do with contracting, right? Has a lot to do with you running your business. Now you're probably wondering, well, how so? Well, think about this, okay? A true fisherman is after what? He's after catching fish. So he needs to know location. He needs to know time of day. He needs to know bait. He needs to know what kind of line he's putting in the water, if it's weighted, if it's unweighted. Like there's a lot of variables that go into just fishing, right? But it's also broader than just marketing, if you will. It has everything to do with you running your business, right? Because here's the truth. And I used to be this way too, by the way. The truth is it's an illusion, right? The illusion is that most contractors think pushing harder and moving faster is the key to growth, right? That's what most contractors think. And it's the biggest lie that you've ever been told, right? They're like, oh, it's all about the hustle and the grind, right? And you're snapping the picture at like, hey, it's 4 a.m. and I'm up and it's like 11 p.m. and you're like still on the job site, right? And you wear that thing as a badge of honor. You're super excited about that, right? But nobody cares. No, nobody cares. Right? And truth be told, if you could make the same amount of money and work 4 hours a day, you probably would. Right? So why is it that we think that we have to work faster? This has to be done. I have to finish this job faster. I got to get this ad together faster. I got to post this thing faster. I got to do everything faster when it couldn't be further from the truth. Right? Now we got a few more folks I'm going to say hi to. Alex says it's up by Tremonton. I love it up there. It's beautiful. We got Tashu, Ashley from SF Global. Welcome to the show. Julie checking in from Africa. Julie and her husband, along with some other friends. Shania and Isaac are in Africa right now. So I can't wait to hear about your trip. Daniel says, fishing for builders. Do some research before you cold call. Yes, my friend. Yes, we will get there. We got Irvin Ventura from Austin, Texas. Oh, and there's Shania. Welcome, Shania. Hello to you as well. So why fishing, right? Why fishing? Well, I'm learning to love fishing because it's forcing me to do what I'm naturally not inclined to do, right? Naturally, I want to speed up. Naturally, I want to get things done faster. Naturally, my wife hates it, right? But I'm realizing that in business, you don't want to be the fastest, right? The businesses most obsessed with scaling fast often grow the slowest, right? Because if you're obsessed with growing fast, guess what's falling through the cracks? Oh, that's right. The details. And when you're too focused on growing fast, it's actually going to kill your business, right? Now, back when I was a rookie on the police department, right? They were teaching us how to shoot the right way. Because let's be real, we've all shot guns, right? Out in the fields or in the mountains, shot squirrels, shot, javelina, coyotes, whatever. Some of you guys have actually shot moose and elk, which I did see a couple, and no, I didn't shoot them outside hunting season. But I learned something from one of the instructors. Now, I'd only done shooting in like the Boy Scouts, and when I was young, we'd go out with some friends and hit some targets out in the woods. And so I didn't really know how to shoot properly the right way. And so we're learning how to draw from the holster, present the weapon, punch out, make sure the sights are aligned to the target, and then slowly pull the trigger to make sure we hit the trigger, right? Now, they didn't tell us those steps. They're like on the line, fire. And so everybody's like all over the place. And I'm like, 10 yards away from the target. I'm like, come on, how hard is it going to be to hit this silhouette of a guy, right? So I'm like, I'm out fast, boom, yank the trigger. And I'm like, man, I nailed that guy. And I'm looking closer at the target and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't see any holes in the target. So they do it again, right? Boom. Look again. I'm like, I don't see any holes on my target. Like, something wrong with this gun? Like, what's going on here? The instructor standing behind me and he's like, hey, cowboy. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I was like, what? Right? I didn't understand it at the time. But what he was trying to tell me is you want to do things slowly. You want to do them smoothly. And that's what makes them go fast, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to running your contracting business. You're not after doing it fast. You're after doing it slow and smooth. Because when you can do it slow and smooth, it creates that fast, right? Now, here's an example, right? How many of you right now are in the process of hiring somebody who have recently hired somebody? There's a few of you. I know because I've talked to you. Okay. So you're in the process of hiring, which sounds really cool. I need a project manager. I need a lead. I need a tech. I need a journeyman. I need a whatever, right? You're hiring. And here's the process, what it normally looks like. Hire fast, skip training, give them their equipment and tell them good luck, right? And what ends up happening? That person that you hire to solve problems is actually what? Creating more problems for you. So speed is not what you want to do, especially when it comes to hiring. Now, what about marketing? I could give you a perfect example. How many of you guys want to run Facebook ads right now or are running Facebook ads? We had a client for a while. They were doing $3.5 million deck building company. 3 to 3.5 million. And they're like, man, I'm ready to spend money on Facebook ads. I'm like, great. What's your plan? They're like, oh, we're just, we're going to put a little bit here. And we're going to put a little bit there. And we're going to see what happens. And I'm like, that's a horrible plan. They're like, what do you mean? They're like, it's a horrible plan. That's not even a plan. They're like, yeah, but we just really need to get jobs in the door right now. And I'm like, okay, so how about we build a plan, figure out who you're marketing to, figure out what message you have to give them, and figure out where it is that they are, right? Like fishing. And they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. The next week they come back to our call and they're like, so we just spent $3,000 in the last week. I'm like, oh, how'd it go? And they're like, it didn't. I'm like, please tell me more, right? They threw $3,000 at a boosted Facebook post thinking that would draw people in the door. Well, it did. Just not their people and definitely not buyers. Okay. So you have to understand slow is smooth and smooth is fast. If you have urgency, it creates what's called fragility, right? What happens if you don't let your concrete set, right? It's not a solid foundation, right? And what's going to happen, right? What happens if you don't let your paint dry? What happens if we can keep going down this, right? Doesn't matter if it's bad hires or anything like that, okay? It's going to lead to more than anything what you're experiencing right now, which is burnout, right? You're sick and tired of being sick and tired of your own business. And isn't it crazy that you created this thing so it would allow you to have the freedom to live the life you want to live? And there's nothing worse than being like, I cannot leave without my phone because something's going to happen. This last week, I was in California visiting with a client in Corona. So for those of you who've been to California, you know it's fun. I'll leave it at that. But I'm visiting them with them, right? And the two owners, the business will probably do, I don't know, 16, 17, 18 million this year. I think we're on pace for that. But the two owners are stuck. And they're stuck because in their mind, they thought that hiring an office manager and telling her manage the office was the way to escape the day-to-day of managing their entire office staff, right? So we went through this process a couple months ago and we said, okay, let's first identify who you want to hire, skills, qualifications, certifications. Let's go through this hiring process. Here's all the steps and the pieces that we use. They settled on a candidate and then they offered the job to the candidate, right? Started 3 weeks ago. But there was something missing and that was their onboarding and training process, right? So I'm sitting there. As soon as I walk in, 2 minutes in, one of the owners, Dave, is like, well, I think we need to fire an office manager. And I was like, that was quick. Why? And he's like, because she's not doing her job. I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, he's not managing the girls. I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean? Right. And I kept digging. And what I found out was they had hired her and she was qualified, exactly who they were looking for. But they put her in a position saying, okay, week 1, sit with all the different people in the office so you can learn how to do their job. Tell us the holes and gaps and manage, right? Sounds like a really cool word. Nobody knows what it means. Okay. And she was not doing what they wanted her to do. And it wasn't because she couldn't do it. It wasn't because she wouldn't do it. It's because she didn't know what she needed to do. So the need for the position overcame the details of what was expected in the position, how, right? And so then now you have something to hold that person accountable to. Just hiring a person for the sake of hiring somebody is going to give you nothing more than another headache, right? So think about this way, okay? If right now you think that you need to compete with the people around you because they're landing more jobs or they seem to be more successful on social media or insert whatever story you want to tell yourself, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a bull-faced lie, right? I can tell you from experience, and this is a crazy part, right? So I teach these continuing education classes, and here in the second half of the year, I'm probably doing 4 to 5 a month. In November, I think I've got like 12 classes scheduled. So I spend 3 hours with a group of contractors that are anywhere from 20 to 65 in the room, right? And then another dozen or so online. So up until this point, probably 500 to 600 contractors I've spent some time with, right? In person. And I can tell you that 90% of the contractors in the room are not on social media. Not, right? It's crazy for me to think that. And so my speed of trying to get in front of these guys thinking they're all on social media is not accurate. It's not true. And so I got to build a plan to get in front of these guys that's slower, that's more methodical, that makes more sense, which I've done. Okay. Some of you guys know that we have a commercial contracting business. It's called Summit Partners. Now, it's Summit Partners. If we play our cards right, we'll do 1 to 1.2 million this year. We're sitting at about 600, which we're pretty excited about, right? But I'll tell you that none of those jobs are coming from Facebook ads. They're not coming from a website. They're not coming from anything other than me slowing down and realizing, okay, who do I want to work with? And for me, what we do is we work with builders and developers, the big ones, and we say, hey, we'll manage these 4 to 5 scopes of work for you so you don't have to worry about it, right? And that's how we built the business. I built the business, the relationships in the business by the old school shaking hands and kissing babies. Like that's what I did. And so it was golfing. It was taking people to lunch. It was meeting them in the office. It was getting to know them. In fact, on Friday, my wife and I, she works in the business with me, we had all you can eat sushi with a project manager on this next project, right? We landed a $310,000 scope of work. That's pretty nice. But we took the project manager out and guess what we learned? He's from Alaska. He likes fishing. He's got a little girl, right? Like all of these things that I can do now or leverage now in our relationship game. This morning, I sent him a message with a TikTok video about a guy fishing in Alaska. Every other sub that he works with, every other company that he works with doesn't care about him. What do they care about? That's right, getting paid. Now, I'm not saying getting paid isn't important, but what I'm saying is if you want the results, you got to put in the time to get them, right? So that's a very specific example. But I want you to understand everything that you do from here on out in your business is going to be a conscious decision. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't pretend that you didn't know what to happen, right? So you have to implement things, okay? So I want you to do this from here on out, okay? You gotta commit to this. Figure out what you're doing over and over and over again that could be written down, cleaned up, and then handed off to somebody. Like how many of you guys right now are still answering the phones, right? 10 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning, you're answering the phones. How many of you guys? But how many of you guys have somebody who could be answering the phones for you if you just let them answer the phone? I don't know. You tell me. right? So you look at this and go, wait a minute, this is a repeatable task. Answer the phone, pre-qualify. If they're qualified, put them on the schedule, right? It can be trained. It can be done by anyone, but you don't have a process behind it. And so you want to put somebody on it, but you're like, I want that guy to do it, but he doesn't know what to say. Cool. Create a process. Slow down, create a process. Okay. The next thing, training your people. If it's going wrong on the job site, it's your fault. I don't know how many times I can say that. It's yours. You hired them, right? Either you gave them the processes or you didn't. Either you gave them the systems and the supervision or you didn't, right? It's not anybody else's fault but yours. So train your people. I remember working as a police officer every morning or afternoon or evening, whatever shift I was working. The first half hour, 30 minutes of our shift, what do you think we did? We sat in the briefing room and we talked, right? We talked about what was happening. We talked about any help anybody needed. We talked about how to do things, whether it was fill out a report, whether it was, a high risk stop, whatever it was, we talked about it. Why did we talk about it? Because we wanted people to be comfortable and familiar with doing the thing that they needed to do. And yes, there were processes behind it, right? Right now, with the guys that we work with, are concrete crews, framing, drywall, paint, roofing. Guess what we do on every job? We go and we walk the job with them ahead of time. And we talk about what needs to happen and how it's going to happen, right? And every couple of days we're out there checking in and making sure they're doing the thing the way it needs to be done. Why? Because we want to make sure it gets done right? I would rather do it once and maybe it's a little slower, but it's done right than have to go back 2 or 3 times and burn all of my profits because I had to fix problems. Make sense? Third thing, this is for you, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner. Decision making. What's an emergency in your business? Really, what's an emergency? But whatever you choose to make an emergency, right? That's it. If Mrs. Jones wants you at the job at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, why? That's her emergency. That's not yours. If you didn't have it in your schedule, you don't have it in your schedule, right? So you have to learn to slow down and manage your time the best. Of the 15 things you got to finish today, what's the most important? What's the most important? And focus on doing that, right? Now, as we wrap this up, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick one area in your business where this week you're going to slow down. You're going to slow down. You're going to do it right. Whether that's hiring, that's training, whether that's doing your job walks, whether that's figuring out where or how you're going to market, like whatever the thing is, think long-term, slow down, and get rid of the urgency. We're getting ready to launch our next program here, which I'd love for you guys to join. We have a 13-week program that we created because we figured out, hey, there's some fundamentals in business that every business owner needs, and they need them right now, right? Some of it's financial, some of it's organization, some of it's understanding their market and how to market. Some of them is building systems and processes. So we created this program, right? Now I could launch it. I could be like right now, just cramming it down your throat, being like, you need to do it. You need to do this thing. Yeah, but what? Like it's just urgent, right? And it falls on deaf ears. Instead, we're taking time and figuring out, okay, where are we going to market this? How are we going to market this? And then how are we making sure that we're connecting with the people that we want to connect with contractors, right? Because we want to slow down and we want to make sure we do it right. So my invitation for you this week, if you can do it today, great. Some of you guys are already knee deep in today. You're like, I don't have time. Figure out the thing that you need to slow down on right now. Is it with your employees? Is it with creating a system or a process? Is it with your hiring? Is it with your marketing? What is it inside of your business? And I guarantee as you start to do things right by making sure you slow down and check all the boxes first, eventually this is going to be something smooth, which is going to appear very fast, but it's not fast. It's just smooth, right? So don't be like me, the fisherman who's impatient and wants to catch the fish right away. Be patient, do the things you need to do, take every step into account so you can make sure that you get the results that you're after. All right, that's all we got for you guys today. If you guys are interested in learning more about how to grow your contracting business, we have an online community built exclusively for contractors. It's called Build Pro. No, it's not free, but we do offer a 7-day free trial. It's $97 a month. We have training. We have on-demand and live training. We have access to experts. We have monthly workshops. Everything that you need to grow your business. You can go to buildprosystem.com, and we would love to have you there with us. Listen, by the way, if you're not using Contractor Plus, you should be. If you're using Contractor Plus and it feels like you're not using it the right way, today would be the day that you spend some time to slow down and learn how to use it right. I'm going to tell you right now, it will alleviate a lot of the stress and pressure you feel inside of your business just by learning how to use it the right way. All right, that's all we got for you guys. You know what time it is. It's time to get after it. 3, 2, 1.